Hello one and all, it's FH1. I'm here today to show you class roles. This is a video I've been meaning to put out for a while, and I've put shooting on hold for the moment because it's going to take quite a while to explain. So, let's start this off. I've decided to put all class roles into one video because honestly, I tried this before. The videos turned out to be 5 minutes long, and fuck 5 minutes. I'm not a 5-minute video maker. Screw that. Right. You have your 9 classes. 3 lights, 3 mediums, 3 heavies. Pathfinder, Sentinel, and Infiltrator as light. Your Soldier, your Technician, your Raider as medium. Your Juggernaut, your Doombringer, and your Brute as heavies. So, we're going to start off with Pathfinder. Quite honestly, my favorite class, and if I can show you here, that's my profile. That is more than 50% of the time as a Pathfinder. That is my role. Don't know how I got 10% as a soldier, but whatever. My badges. You know what? I'm gonna gush. So, my badges. You can click pause on the video if you want to see what I have. For a friend I don't have. My accolades. Oh yeah, there's only one page on that. Combat. Flags. Objectives. Sprees. Multi-kills. And arena. Now, to the topic at hand. Pathfinders. Right. This is your objective. These 2 items here. Both teams' flags. Right? That is your objective. That is your role. You have the enemy team's flag in the other base. You have your team's flag in your base.
We have captured the diamond sword flag.
Didn't actually mean to capture, but whatever the hell. When an enemy has your flag, you chase that motherfucker. You chase him, you kill him, you return that flag. Even better, you chase him, you kill him, you don't return the flag. That's right, you heard me. Don't return the flag. Keep the flag as far away from your stand as humanly possible. There's a reason for this. It's called bad returns. When you return your flag, chances of an enemy swooping in and capturing it at the same second that you've returned it is extremely high. That said, don't let the timer run out, because people can very easily time themselves to that timer. The second that flag is returned, whew, there goes your flag. Straight off its stand. You want to do it at roughly at about 5 seconds, maybe 4 seconds before the flag is returned. That is when you want to return the flag. Now, as a main capping Pathfinder, which is what I am, glitch. Odd. My objective is the enemy flag. Getting it out of their base, getting it to our base. That is my objective. A flag chaser is a person who stands on defense as a Pathfinder to chase down other Pathfinders who grab your flag. That they are 2 separates, but you can do both. You stretch yourself thin, but you can do both. You just have to be really good at it. When you have the enemy team's flag, do not chase the enemy carrying your flag. You will get lured in, you will get shot down by snipers, by juggernauts, by everything, by everyone. Because as soon as you get the enemy team's flag, they chase you. All of them. Tanks, shrikes, bikes, mediums, lights, heavies, they chase you. One thing I want to point out before I move on to the next class is something simple. Let's say the score is 4-0 to the enemy team, right? And they suddenly grab your flag. Nobody should be inside or even around the base. Everybody should be chasing that fucker. Because if he gets the flag back to theirs, caps it, that's game. GG, they win. There is no reason for you to stay in the base. Now that I've got that little thing sorted out, we move on to the next class. Sentinels. Sentinels is not my main role. However, your objective is midfield, offense, defense. What I mean by offense, defense is you want to be on a high place, you want to have full view of the entire field, and you want to be sniping people trying to get the flag or trying to cap your own flag. Typically it's something at the top of this. Now, it's pretty common to find a sniper at the top of this, so chances of you being sniped yourself is pretty high. You have two roles. You can either be midfield or you can be defense. Now, I've spotted a few sentinels at the back of bases, but they're easily dispatched and it's not really worth your time to actually go behind the enemy base and start sniping people off. So, at the back of your base, as defense, sniping people coming in to cap the flag, or midfield on top of structures, you are main spotter. You're a main spotter in such a way that since you have full view of the field, you can just click your call in button and say, "Oop, there's a light heading towards the flag," and your defense guys are automatically, "Boo, light guy, where?" And they start looking around. They spot the little targeter and says, "Right, he's in that direction. He's coming around." They charge up their chain guns. There's one dead Pathfinder. Your role, your main role as a sniper is suppression. That is it. You can go defense, midfield, but your role in the field, or on the field should I say, is suppression. Suppression and spotting. With that, we move on to the third class, Infiltrators. Infiltrators are interesting because they can do multiple things. First off, because they're stealthers, they can move easily in and out of enemy base. It takes longer for turrets to target you, giving you an advantage. Ow, my face. This is, you see, I don't use an infiltrator a lot. I've seen some pretty snazzy infiltrators pulling off some weird stuff, but I cannot pull it off. I just can't. So fair dues to them, they're able. You want to be around the enemy base, you want to be holding suppressive fire for Pathfinders and Juggernauts. If you can and find the time, jump on in and give a brute a hand or a raider a hand with the enemy generator. Stickies, bang, there goes half its health. They are generator killers as well. They can do turrets, but it's a little bit harder.
Destroyed.
Your main role is confusion. Quite simply, just that, confusion. You are to fuck with the enemy's head. And as an infiltrator, that is very easy. Now, I did mention multiple roles. Since an infiltrator has a high amount of energy regen, because it has to split 50-50 between its jetpack and its stealth pack, they are very effective flag chasers. Of course, not in stealth mode, because as soon as you hit a certain point in your speed, you actually lose stealth. Well, you don't lose it, you just become more visible. Now, they are effective flag chasers. I wouldn't exactly use that as an excuse to flag chase, If you have the opportunity, yes, go for it, but your main role is confusing the enemy team. Fucking with them so much that they just don't know where the hell the enemies is coming from. That is your main role. Next class, Soldier. Oh, soldiers. You cannot win a match without at least one soldier on your team. These guys are bread and butter of your side. A soldier is a midfielder. They tackle slow lights, such as infiltrators, who are not stealthed. Medium to fast, medium classes. I would say Raider would be one of them, and fellow soldiers. And slow to medium Juggernauts and Brutes. Now, soldiers don't really compare to Brutes, because the difference between the normal spin fuser and the heavy spin fuser is galaxies apart. Like, seriously. But that said, soldiers have a massive advantage over Brutes. Not the health, of course, because, well, quite honestly, that's silly. But your energy regen is a lot higher. Like, just that alone. From time to hit ground is 40. Time to hit ground with a Brute would be about 15 to 20. That's double the regen. That's insane. So you do have a maneuverability advantage, and because of that, well, you just have a tactical advantage. Plus you get higher ground, which makes it a hell of a lot easier. So soldiers are midfielders. They are disrupting offensive players, offensive classes, if you will. Now, I say that you cannot win a match without a soldier, but what I'm actually talking about is you cannot win a match without midfielders, and the most effective midfielder is the soldier. That's why they are the bread and butter of your side. So, summarizing that, your role is midfield, and if you are at a safe advantage, general purpose offense. Class, technician. Okay, I'm just gonna have to press K because it's much quicker. The technician has two jobs. Since the technician is the only effective repairer on your team, in other words, he's the only one with this, he is generator repair, generator defense, flag defense, turret repairs. This guy is general support. You can't actually win a game without a technician. And the only reason for that is because they are the fastest at repairing. This turret is down. Whoop. Takes about 5 seconds. There you go. Turret's back up and running. Doesn't have to be at full health. Just has to be operational. Same with the generator. Although I'd typically put the generator at full health. That way it's at least harder to kill. These guys do not leave the base. At all, ever. If you see a technician out in the field, shoot him. Shoot him purely on the principle of being stupid. Track him down, kill him. Thumpers are your main weapon. There's one good reason for this. That's half my health. I'm dead. 2 shots from a thumper will kill pretty much anything. 1 shot if it's a light. If you get a dead aim, which is a direct shot. Whether it be on ground or mid, doesn't matter. Your main role, support. In-base defense. Raiders. Oh, Raiders. I've seen some pretty smacking, like, really good Raiders in my time. They weren't called Raiders back in the day, but anything with a grenade launcher... Well, 90% of the people would actually carry a grenade launcher. But, that said, they were just amazing. I think it was more down to skill than anything else. The Raider's main role is as simple as raiding. That's why it's called Raider. Your main assault, your main role is this. Generator killing, turret killing, general flag stand bombing. What I mean by flag stand bombing is, well, let's say you have a Pathfinder coming in to grab the flag, and there's a Doombringer sitting on it with super heavy. Now, that Pathfinder is going to die if he hits that Doombringer. Nuke the flag stand. Just not yourself. You are, as a raider, your sole purpose, well, not your sole purpose, but your main role is structure destruction. Structure destruction. Hi. Yeah, I know. BT shot. What the fuck? Next class is Juggernaut. These guys typically are around, I would say, the outer edges of the base. Midfield to outer edges of the enemy base. These guys have nuke potential, which means they are the main target of anything with defense. Whether it be your turrets, whether it be your technicians, in-house defense, everything should be targeting Juggernauts on the outside of the base. Because if you don't, well, it's quite simple. Hi! That just nuked everything on that flag stand while passing by. That was a bad shot. That was a bad shot, but whatever. Your main roles, again, much like the Raider, outside structure destruction. In other words, turrets, sensors, and eventually the vehicle pad when they eventually make it destructible, because that will be so much fun. You are the main reason why the enemy team needs a technician on their team, because in a few seconds you can decimate any structure, whether it be sensors, whether it be turrets. You generally don't go into the base to attack the generator, but if you have everything else down and their generator is like on a sliver of health, run down, nuke it, get the hell out. Because you're so slow, you are a big target inside the base. In, destroy it, out. That's all you need to do. As for your second role, which actually should be your main role, as I said before, flag nuking. Wow, that frickin' horrible shot. Flag nuking. You want to be stuck on a hill, you want to be nuking down at it. If you get really good with the fusion mortar, you can knock 5 people off a flag stand right when your Pathfinder swoops in to take their flag. And there is nothing more satisfying than watching your Pathfinder fly off with the enemy flag. And it was because of you. Your one fusion mortar made your team get a possible cap. That feeling alone is like, yes. Juggernauts are a must on a team. You have to have at least 2 or 3. A competent Juggernaut will decimate the other team. Next class. Next class is a Doombringer. I'll just press K because it's quicker. This is going to take all of about 5 seconds to explain. And the second I get there, you're going to know what I'm saying. Wow, that was fail. I have no excuse for that. Here is where you stand. As a Juggernaut, this is where you stand. The entire match. Pathfinder, spin up, dead. Pathfinder, spin up, dead. Pathfinder, spin up, dead. If you get really good with the chain gun, you can make long distance shots. And believe me, there's nothing more pleasing than a Pathfinder just after knocking you off the flag stand, him swooping in, taking the flag, flying straight over the hill, you charging up and just getting the last sliver of health. You're watching the flag just go bee over the hill and bounce on the ground. Great feeling. A Doombringer is a must on every single team, simply because they are the most effective flag defense. The most effective with super heavy. You stand on the flag, anything swoops in and even hits you. I'm gonna say, if you have 400, no, if you have about 1,000 health, the player needs to be going at about 175 kph for it to be a one-hit kill. If they hit you, it is a one-hit kill. And you do get credit for it. One thing I want to point out, your main role as flag defense, the biggest hazard you have is resupplying your ammunition, because you cannot leave this stand. Ever. That is the biggest main concern. But, having said that, you do rack up the points because you do get the kills. Take out your supply drop, drop it below. Now drop it below, don't drop it on the same height. There's a very good reason for this. When you go down, I'm just going to empty out my jetpack. Watch. Full jetpack. Straight back up. Bang. There's your 2 spots. There's your mines. Anything that comes anywhere near this flag is dead. That is your job. Flag defense. Not generator defense, flag defense. Next role, the Brute. Brute is all-purpose. Wow, everything just exploded. The Brute is all-purpose. Midfield, offense, and defense. Brutes have the hardest job. They really do. Your generator defense, you are midfield, offense, defense, distraction, confusion, spotting, general destruction of the other team in midfield. On offense, you don't technically go for the structures. You don't go for the enemy turrets, you don't go for the enemy sensors, you go for enemy players. This gun is seriously OP. As I said, the difference between this and the normal spin fuser is galaxies apart. Not to mention, you can go inside the base, not to destroy the generator, but to destroy or kill other technicians and stuff. This gun. Anything that gets within 2 feet of you, this gun will just rape it. And I mean anything, whether it be light, medium, or heavy. Hold down the trigger, point at the target, have fun. Heavy spin fuser is a little bit different. As you know, it's projectile. But anyway, your main role is all-purpose. You want to pick a class for everything. You want to try out everything to see what you're good at with the playstyle for Tribes Ascend. I recommend getting the Brute. Because you get a good feel for a spin fuser, you get a good feel for going around a map. Granted, not exactly at the greatest of speeds, but you get an all-purpose feel for what can be done with other classes. Typically, you would want 1 or 2 brutes on a team. And only for the general purpose aspect. Because if you're missing a class that you need, let's say your soldiers died out in midfield, well, one of your brutes just took his place. Granted, he's not the greatest and most effective against other soldiers, but he's better than nothing. And I would rather a brute out in midfield or on medium offense than having no one at all. Another thing I want to note about the differences between defense, midfield, and offense. When you're defense, your prime target, whether it be structures, whether it be the flag, you stay in base. When you're defense, you stay in base. If you're not defense, get out there, into midfield. When you are midfield, you have to disrupt enemy team offense, and you have to keep an eye out for your flag. If there is a flag carrier who's whizzing past your head, he is your prime target. Fuck the guy you were just shooting at. That flag carrier is your prime target. Once that flag drops, they cannot cap it. You can return it. Just don't make it a bad return. Offense. Whether it be the flag, whether it be turrets, stick to the objective. If other players get in your way, target them, blow the shit out of them. That is the only reason you should be targeting other players. Now, that's not to say leave them all alone. If you see someone walking around, yeah, of course, shoot them in the face. Being silly. You should be skiing at like 100 kph, not walking around. This is a fast-paced FPS, not a slow-paced. This is not Call of Duty. That pretty much covers it for all classes. The only one that I'm still a little iffy on is the Infiltrator. Now, as I said, Infiltrator is, your main role is confusing the other team. Killing other players, you being a stealther and all. And just generally fuck with the other team's head. And a flag chaser if you have time. But there's always something about the Infiltrator that I find confusing. That I am not using egocentric on my Infiltrator. This little stealth spin fuser is fucking powerful. So you can be an effective offense tool. You can be an offense player with like a proper offense player, not like I run around backstabbing players.
We have captured the diamond sword flag.
You see how easy that is just with an Infiltrator? You can do that with all classes, yes. Granted, you need a hell of a lot of practice to do it with heavies, but you can do it. But with an Infiltrator, it's just kind of... it's fluid. It's smooth. It's easy to do. It's like a Pathfinder. But because of your stealth pack, well... yeah, you really have to split your energy conserve. Or your energy pack even. Yes, sorry. You have to conserve your energy pack. There we go. English, please. Would be good. That said, again, like I've seen Infiltrators do some fucking... ow. I've seen some Infiltrators do some amazing stuff. Nothing that I could pull off in a million years. Well, no, okay, I'd be fair with myself. If I had practice with the Infiltrator, then yeah. But my main role is Pathfinder. I've seen them pull off some crazy stuff with like 20 energy in their pack. And you can tell it's only 20 energy in their pack because, quite honestly, it's like a few seconds later like drop like a stone and then they can't use their jetpack. But that's after they've done like throwing sticky grenades onto fucking shrikes, whizzing past a turret at like 200 kph, throwing sticky grenades. It's crazy. You have to be pretty damn skilled to use an infiltrator properly.
We have captured the diamond sword flag.
That said, it's still not for me. It takes a lot of skill to use a Pathfinder properly as well. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, to use any class properly and play your roles correctly and get everything spot on, like a Juggernaut bombing a flag stand, getting rid of all of the defenses in one shot, just to get a Pathfinder in, to get him in, have the flag and out of that like defensive ring that you just incinerated. That actually does take skill. That does take practice. That does take time to grasp. That said, you play a game long enough, especially for as long as I've been playing games, it does come natural. And there are players out there that are just naturally better than other players. They do have an advantage, and I'm sorry to say, this does scare off quite a few players. But if you put the time and effort into Tribes Ascend, you will get a buzz out of this game like you've never gotten before. And I'm not saying that to prep up the game, I'm not saying that to praise Hi-rez, I'm saying that just a simple fact. Whee! Bleh. Now, excuse me, that was a lump in my throat. But I've cleared out all the classes now. That is class roles. This video might be a little bit longer than I had liked, but whatever. There's nothing really else about classes, other than sometimes your role in a class can change depending on the weapon you have. Now, this is most prominent in, say, a Doombringer, where you have a chain gun, you're sitting on that flag stand, you're not standing off it.
Diamond Sword has secured their flag.
If you change a Doombringer to have a heavy bolt launcher, that changes things. Because you can self-propel, you can get around faster, and you can distort, disintegrate, demolish the other team with a heavy bolt launcher. The heavy bolt launcher is a devastating weapon, and its little AoE splash is unique. It is. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Doombringer, main weapon, heavy bolt launcher. Select class, Doombringer, right? This is the heavy bolt launcher. See that? That would take maybe 3-4 shots from full health. You can do a lot of damage with this thing. But when you have a heavy bolt launcher as a Doombringer, you don't want to be defending. You want to be offense. This thing is built for offense. You're not exactly the most effective generator killer, but you can do it. The heavy bolt launcher is mainly used on other players. So you'd be sharing roles with an Infiltrator and a Brute. However, you might want to take note of your energy regen being atrocious. Fucking atrocious. It is horrible. But the main role of a Doombringer is chain gun, flag stand, you sit there. And of course, as I said before, inventory station is your best friend. If your inventory station gets fucked, well, you don't have a lot of ammo then. And, well, you're kind of boned. You'll very rarely take out the saber missile, but when you do, it's usually for a Shrike or a tank. It's very rare to see cycles coming around enemy base. They're more midfield vehicles. Tanks are more defense on offense. They're not really used for midfield because everybody's flying around too fast. It's pretty hard to hit your target. Shrikes are, well, air superiority. That's all I need to say. And this is the one thing that Shrikes fear the most. I just locked onto you. There's one missile, there's two. That Shrike's pretty fucked. That said, if you do shoot a Shrike with a normal bolt launcher from full health, it will just kill it outright. Because it's a pretty damn hard shot to make. But with the chain gun, Doombringer, you sit on this flag stand, you put down your mines, put down your force field, you sit there the entire match. You are flag defense. That covers pretty much everything. Spin fuser doesn't really change much for Pathfinder. You're still flag cap, flag chase. Sentinel, phase rifle from the BXT. Now, okay, I'm gonna say this without trying to sound stupid or anything, but I would say a phase rifle would be
User
more
entered your channel.
defense. Sorry about that. Now, without trying to sound stupid or anything, a phase rifle would be more of a defensive weapon. The reason I say this, and I'll show it to you now. Select Sentinel, right? This is the phase rifle. Now, you watch my energy bar down the bottom left, right? When I fire that shot, that uses all of your energy. It doesn't recharge all of that quickly. You also have ammo based. Now, the amount of energy you have determines how much damage you do with the bullet. Alright? So you want to keep your energy bar as max as possible all the time, correct? If you're out in midfield, you'll be using that energy a lot to fire at people. Because of that, you are using way too much energy. You're not doing enough damage. You're not doing enough damage to be effective. So when you're on defense, it's less timing, more accurate, more effective shot. So a phase rifle would be typically the defensive weapon for a Sentinel. As to the BXT, would be because it doesn't use the energy. It depends on this bar on the left and right side of my reticle. You fire, it recharges. Fire, charges. Fire, it recharges. Does not depend on your energy count. Plus the fact it has 5 shots in the barrel instead of 4 makes you a pretty effective midfielding Sentinel. So I would say the BXT would be more midfield Sentinel, the phase rifle would be more defensive Sentinel. But that's only my personal opinion. I would think that people would differ from that. As for the stealth spin fuser and the Rhino, I haven't really touched the Rhino, to be quite honest. The Jackal changes things entirely. You're not, when you use the Jackal, you're not Confusion anymore. You're essentially a demo man from TF2. So your stickies can be put anywhere. That includes the flag stand, That includes a frickin' bridge. That includes a bloody turret. Or the enemy generator. You are general proximity detection. And what I mean by that is, you put those on a doorway, someone walks through the doorway, yep, you're stealthed, and you just incinerate it. So you're a stealthing demo man. Wow, that is a terrifying concept. That is a terrifying concept. But from the Rhino to the Spin Fuser, doesn't really change all that much. Means you do less damage to turrets, generator and sensor, but you do more damage to targets, as in players. And as an infiltrator, your main role is confusion, so you will be running around killing players. Now, soldiers. The Spin Fuser and the assault rifle. Whoever uses the assault rifle, I mean, come on. Seriously, answer me down in the comment section if you use the assault rifle. I will slap you. I know, really. The assault rifle is effective, but not as effective as the Spin Fuser. It doesn't change your role at all. You are still midfield. That is your role. Thumper DX doesn't change anything. Technician, the Thumper and the TNC, you are still in-house defense. That is what you are. That is all you do. In-house base defense. That is the only thing you should be carrying. Fuck the sawn-off shotgun. Fuck the Sparrow. Alright? I don't even know why Hi-rez gave those guns to a technician, because all a technician should be carrying is that gun as your secondary. Improved repair tool. You are the most effective repair. You can get everything up to 100 whenever the hell you like. Your role does not change depending on what weapon you have. Raider. Grenade launcher, arc buster. One sticks, one doesn't. It doesn't change your role. Yeah, sorry, Juggernaut. One fusion mortar, one Marv. Right. Fusion mortars, I would say, are more direct shots. Marv launcher is your typical flag stand clearing weapon. It is maximum spread, maximum yield, maximum coverage area. You can get out mines, claymores, people, sorry, players, not people, force fields, everything. Marv launcher is your flag stand clearing weapon. Your fusion mortar is, right, someone has this, or a turret, or generator, or vehicle. You can flag stand bombard with a fusion mortar. It is actually easier with the fusion mortar, but it's not as effective. Doombringer, already handled that. Brute only has a heavy spin fuser. Automatic shotgun Nova Colt doesn't change. You're midfield. That is your role. That covers everything that can possibly happen with a class, its weapons, its roles, its role changes, and its alternate objectives. That is that. So, thank you for watching. I hope this video was informative, and I hope to see you all in game, because, you know what, I need a frickin' challenge. I really do. And players in Europe are just not giving me a challenge. And I'm not beefing myself up or I'm the fucking greatest. I am not the best tribes player. Not by a frickin' long shot. But I know what to do. I know how to get around. I know I've been there. I'm a Star Siege veteran. This is bread and butter to me. This is like breathing air. So if my knowledge can be passed down to other players to help them advance to come up to my level, to give me a challenge, so be it. Absorb it all, get in game, beat me. Come and beat me. I beckon everybody. Just remember, I'm a Pathfinder. Chances are you won't catch me. Anyway, I shall leave it there. See yous all.